in 2026. So this session is going to be very, very important for you, because you, as you know, out of total and 80 question that CSAT paper 2 consists of, almost 27 to 28 question is going to be asked from reading comprehension. Okay, clear? And to tackle the question based on reading comprehension, you no need to extra reading or extra effort. Okay, like what effort you used to put in GS or other subjects. As far as CSAT is concerned, there are three segments: mathematics and reading comprehension. So in reading comprehension, you don't have to do extra work. Okay, whatever I am going to discuss in today's session, whatever tools I am going to discuss, okay, all the tools are very important. If you remember all the tools, okay, so it will be very, very easy to solve this question. Okay, so let's see uh, how many types of question every year used to ask. So first one, message based, crux based, information based, or you can say fact based. Okay, fact based. Okay, you can say fact based question. Okay, and other are corollary based, corollary. Okay, so and next is question. Okay, question and adjunction based question. So every year these types of used to ask. Okay, so in today's session we will be covering only one part of all the types. Okay, one type, question based on message. Okay, so if you see, so how many question every year are there from? So if you see, in message based question, I am discussing message based question. So in 2024 questions were there, then 2 question, then 1 question, then certain 9 question were there in the paper. In 24 there was 3 question. Okay, and this year, last year, there was 8 question from this type. Okay, message of the question, message of the passage based question. Okay, so you see crux based question, in 25 there was 7 question. Information based, that is fact based question, 1 question, and implication based, no question was there based on implication, and inference based question was also not there last year. But if you see assumption based question, so last year there was 13 question, and if you see from 20 onward, there was 11 question, then 9 question, then 4 question, then 7 question, and then 11 question. So you can see the type of question and what is their significant, and what types of question next year is going to be asked. Okay, so you can see slowly the importance of message based, crux based, and assumption based is increasing year by year. Okay, so first of all we should see what is the message based question, what kind of question is based on message of the passage. Okay, so to move forward, first of all we should learn what is message all about. So what is the message of the passage? Message of the passage is central theme, lesson, or key takeaway that author want to convey. ठीक है ना? Central theme, what is the central theme, what is the central idea, what is the core idea, what is the core argument, what is the summary of the passage. Okay, so it is a broader than simple fact or inference and represent the underlying purpose of the passage. Most of the time you might have seen in reading comprehension that question is like that: what is the purpose of the passage? Okay, so what is the purpose of the passage, what is the message of the passage? Both are the same things. Okay, what is the purpose of the passage? Question might be wording might be, instead of message of the passage, might be what is the purpose of the passage. Okay, what actually author is trying to tell. Okay, or through the passage, what actually author is trying to say. Okay, clear? So in simple definition, you can see the core idea that author want to reader to remember. So this is the core idea. Okay, this is the main idea, this is the core idea, this is the, you can say, this is the summary of the passage. Okay, so the main idea or central point the author want to communicate to the reader. Okay, so for, if you see, for example, if the passage is like, over the past decade deforestation has led to habitat destruction. Over the past decade destruction has led to the deforestation has led to the destruction of habitat. Okay, loss of biodiversity and increased carbon emission. Okay, so this is simply passage. So what is the message of the passage? protecting forest is crucial for maintaining ecological balance. This one can be the message of the passage, right? If you see another thing, so in simple terms, what is the answer of the question? What author actually trying to tell me through the passage? What author actually trying to tell? ठीक है, पैसेज के माध्यम से author actually में क्या कहना चाहता है? What is the core theme of the passage that the author want to convey? Okay, what is the main point author is discussing? Okay, सो की पॉइंट्स क्या है? नॉट स्मॉल डिटेल। पैसेज में बहुत सारे एक तो कोर आइडिया होता है और उस कोर आइडिया को प्रूव करने के लिए सम सपोर्टिंग आइडियाज भी होता है, ठीक है। तो ये सपोर्टिंग आइडिया नहीं होता है, ओके, सपोर्टिंग आइडिया नहीं होता है, स्मॉल डिटेल नहीं होता है, ठीक है। ओवरऑल मीनिंग ऑफ द मीनिंग और लेसन ऑफ द पैसेज, ये क्या होता है? ओवरऑल मीनिंग, जो भी पूरा पैसेज में लिखा गया है, जो भी ऑथर कन्वे करना चाहता है, उस पैसेज का ओवरऑल मीनिंग क्या होगा? That is the message of the passage. That is the purpose of the passage. Author ये passage क्यों लिखा है? Why author has written this passage? Okay. So it may be stated directly or implied. Okay. ये information author क्या कहना चाहता है, या तो directly mention होगा या implicit होगा. Okay. It reflects the author's purpose, opinion and theme of the passage. Okay. Now, for example, a text describe how trees provide oxygen. There is a text or an article which describe how trees provide oxygen, okay, reduce pollution and support wildlife. So this is the statement. Oh, what is the message of this passage? Okay, so trees are essential for environment and should be protected. So just go through. A text describe trees provide oxygen, reduce pollution and support wildlife. Okay, so what could be the message of the passage? Trees are essential. One thing is the clear that trees are essential for environment, and should be, if trees are essential, then trees must be protected. Okay, so should be protected. Clear? Now, if you see tip for finding the message of the passage. So what is the, ask yourself, what is the passage mostly about? ये passage जो है ना किस चीज के बारे में है? ठीक है, look at the introduction part and conclusion part. In most of the cases, you can see in most of the cases, the main thing, the main point that the author want to say will be in either introduction part or in conclusion part, in the first line or in the last line. Okay, ignore small detail, focus on big idea. Okay, big idea. Now, if you see the passage here, what is the central message of the passage? Okay, central message, core idea of the passage, main purpose of the passage. Okay, what is the summary of the passage? Okay, so in many cities people complain about traffic congestion. Okay, yet they continue to rely heavily on private vehicle. But they always used to complain, people always used to complain that complain about the heavy traffic. Okay, but despite of that, they always use, they mostly use, not always, they mostly use their private vehicle. Okay, government invest in public transportation. Okay, but citizens often prefer the comfort of their own car. Okay, there are public transport vehicles also, but people prefer their own vehicle. Okay, for travel. As a result, इसकी वजह से क्या होता है? Pollution level rise and travel time increases. Okay. Expert suggests that unless, what expert suggests not, this is the idea of the author. Okay, and one thing is clear, what is there in the passage, whether they are logically true or false. Okay, we have to consider the given information in the passage as true. इसके अलावा दुनिया में कुछ भी सही नहीं है. Whatever is there in the passage, हमें उसी को 100% सही मानना है. Okay, so experts suggest that unless individuals change their attitude towards shared transportation, long-term solution will remain ineffective. ठीक है, तो what experts suggest that, expert suggestion means author suggestion. Okay, clear? तो author क्या suggest कर रहा है कि to solve the problem related to traffic, okay, people's mind, people's attitude should be changed. Okay, what is the central message of the passage? तो यही एक मैसेज है. Okay, यही एक मैसेज है. So government are failing to improve the public transport. No, they are investing. Government invest in public transportation. So this cannot be. This is totally against what is there in the passage. Okay, so this option can be eliminated. Okay, traffic unavoidable. This is extreme idea. Okay, extreme statement, extreme idea. Okay, this is a rigid statement. So rigid statement cannot be true. Okay, individual choices play a key role in solving traffic problem. Individual choices. Okay, so this is aligned with the passage. Private vehicle are more comfortable than public transport. So comparison in the passage, nowhere comparison has been done. Okay, so similarly वैसे भी दिख रहा है कि ये आपका मैसेज नहीं हो सकता, कोर आइडिया नहीं हो सकता. तो व्हाट इज द कोर आइडिया? इंडिविजुअल चॉइसेस in solving traffic issue is significant, because what are the experts suggest that unless individual change their attitude, change their mind, change their choices, okay, so traffic problem cannot be solved. So this is the aligned with the passage. So this is the central message of the passage that actually author trying to convey to the reader. Okay, so your correct option is answer C. Okay, now if you see different passage, failure is often viewed as something to be ashamed of. Okay, failure is often viewed as something to ashamed of, but many successful people see it differently. Okay, and they consider failure as a valuable experience that help them grow. Okay, so what author is saying till now कि most of the people failure को कैसे देखते हैं? ashamed of, डूब के मर जाओ. ठीक है, but many successful पर्सन क्या देखते हैं? इससे लर्निंग अपॉर्चुनिटी के रूप में लेते हैं. ठीक है, एंड फॉर एवरी अनसक्सेसफुल अटेम्प्ट दे लर्न समथिंग. ओके, एंड देन गेट सक्सेस इन देयर लाइफ. ओके, लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस दैट हेल्प देम ग्रो. ठीक है, each mistake teaches a lesson that bring them closer to success. Okay, without failure improvement would be डिफिकल्ट इफ नॉट पॉसिबल. देखो ऑथर ऐसा नहीं कर रहा है कि विदाउट फेलियर आप सक्सेस नहीं हो सकता. मतलब टू बी अ सक्सेसफुल पर्सन इट इज नॉट कंडीशनल, इट इज नॉट मैंडेटरी कि आपको फेल होना ही है. नहीं, क्लियर है? सो व्हाट इज द सेंट्रल मैसेज ऑफ द पैसेज? what message does the passage convey? Okay, so success comes easily to talented person. This is not talking about, okay, उनको इजीली थोड़ी मिलता है. Okay, failure should be avoided at all costs. देखो again this is the horse argument, so this cannot be your true choice, right? And also this cannot be the message of the passage, the core idea of the passage, right? Learning from failure lead to growth. Learning from failure, अपने गलतियों से सीख के आगे बढ़ना. This is the moderate statement. Okay, clear? So this is aligned with the passage. Mistake always result disappointment, not talking about. So what is the core idea? Sorry, what is the core idea of the passage is that ki, failure is a valuable learning experience that help them grow. Okay, so learning from failure leads to growth. So this is this can be deduced from the passage. This can be a broader idea or the core idea. Okay, or actually what author is saying or what author is trying to say. Okay, so your correct choice is option C. Now if you see the next one, with the spread of digital technology, access to information has become easier than ever. Okay, with the spread of digital technology, okay, access to information has become very easy. Means due to digital boom, information were readily available to people. Okay, पहले से ज्यादा. However, फिर भी not all the information available online is accurate. सभी ऐसा नहीं करा कि सभी information गलत है. ठीक है, कि it means most of the information that is there online, okay, are inaccurate. Not all the information are inaccurate. Some information available online are inaccurate. People often accept false information without questioning its source. Or people जो है whatever they see online information, they accept as a true without questioning what is their source. Okay, this makes critical thinking an essential skill in the modern world. Okay, this makes critical thinking an essential skill. Okay, critical thinking an essential skill in the modern world. So मैंने क्या बोला? मैंने आपको ये बताया था कि कोर आइडिया सेंट्रल मैसेज या तो लास्ट में होता है या पहले होता है, या you will get the core idea, the message of the passage only if you read the whole passage, okay, and summarize the whole passage. So what is the main message of the passage? So digital technology is harmful to society. Not talking about it is harmful to society. So this is incorrect. Information online is always unreliable. Not always unreliable. Most, it's not talking about all the information that is there online available are inaccurate. Okay, most of the information are inaccurate. Not always, not all the information are inaccurate. So this is also over exaggeration. This is extreme point. Okay, so this shouldn't be our best choice. Okay. Critical thinking is necessary when consuming information. So this is actually in the last line. Critical thinking is essentially to consume the information. Critical thinking means you should always question the source of the information that you are being provided or that you are getting online. Okay, so this is the right answer. Can you see option C? Option D, people should avoid using internet. This is again extreme point, rigid statement. Okay, so this cannot be your choice. So your best choice is option C. So option C will be the right answer. Okay, now next question, plants and animals depend on each other. Okay, there is interdependency of plants as well as animals. Okay, for their survival. It means they cannot survive without one another, right? Bees pollinate flowers, allowing plant to reproduce, while plants provide bees with nectar. Okay, in this way they support each other's existence. Okay, when one species disappears, the balance of ecosystem is disturbed. Okay, clear? Protecting biodiversity is therefore crucial for maintaining natural harmony. So here you can see this is the main thing I think author trying to convey. Okay, protecting biodiversity is therefore, okay, crucial for maintaining natural harmony. Okay, natural balance. So what is the message? What message does the passage emphasize upon? Okay, clear? So bees are the most important species, not talking about importance of animals. Ecosystem function through interdependence. So this is the core idea, main idea, core argument that author is discussing in the passage. Interdependency. Okay, so this is your right choice. You can also eliminate plants can survive without animal. No, in the first line itself it is saying that both are interdependent for their survival. So this cannot be. Biodiversity slow down the natural process. No, if you conserve the biodiversity, so this will maintain the natural harmony. Okay, not reduce the natural process. This will catalyze the natural process. This will improve the natural process. Okay, this will work as a catalyst for natural process. Okay, so your correct choice is option B. So B will be the right answer. Okay, if you see next question, many people believe that talent alone leads to success. What most of the people believe, author is not believing this. Okay, people believe that talent alone leads to success. If you are talented, definitely you are going to succeed. So what kind of belief? Who believe this? People believe this. Okay. However, now author argument is that talent without effort rarely produce result. So what does it mean? Talent plus effort is equal to result. Okay, talent plus effort is equal to result. Talent alone, what author is saying, talent alone is not sufficient to produce any result. Okay, effort must be there. If you are talented, if you are not making effort, definitely you are not going to success. Okay, so consistent practice, discipline and determination often matters more than natural ability. मतलब टैलेंट से भी अधिक इंपॉर्टेंस सिग्निफिकेंट क्या है? Consistent practice, discipline and determination is more important than talent, right? Those who work persistently tend to achieve their goal over the time. जो कड़ी मेहनत करते हैं वो after over some period of time, they definitely succeed in their life, or they definitely get their goal. Okay, so now what is the message of the passage? What actually author trying to say through this passage? But talent guarantees success? No, talent not guarantee success, because talent plus effort guarantees success. So this is unbiased. This is biased. Okay, so talent guarantees success. This cannot be true. This is opposite to the meaning. This is what people think, not author think. We have to see what author trying to say, not the people trying to say. Okay, so this cannot be true. Hard work is more important than talent. So here you can say consistent practice, discipline and determination often matter more than the natural ability. So natural ability means talent. Okay, so they are more important than talent. So this is directly aligned with the passage. Okay, natural ability should be ignored. No, the author is not saying that natural ability, talent should be ignored. If you are talented, it's okay, no problem. But condition is that you will get success, or you will get succeed in your life only when you make effort. Okay, so now success depend on luck. No, not talking about luck, out of the context of the passage, so beyond the scope of the passage, beyond the scope of the passage, beyond the scope of the passage, beyond the scope of the passage. So only option B is the right choice. Clear? Getting? Okay, so now the whatever question you will solve in examination or during practice, you always have to first use elimination technique. Okay, so for elimination technique, these things you always remember. Okay, beyond the scope of the passage introduces new information not discussed in the passage, so it is irrelevant. Extreme option too rigid, so you should eliminate it. Partially correct option, okay, so misleading, right? Contextually wrong option, misinterpretation of the author's main idea, main point, so this is incorrect argument, irrelevant argument. Okay, true in real world type of option, so actually they are true but not supported in the passage. रियल वर्ल्ड में ट्रू हो सकता है, आपके नॉलेज जनरल नॉलेज के हिसाब से वो सही हो सकता है, बट इवन दो वो क्या होगा, गलत होगा, इफ नॉट सपोर्टेड बाय द पैसेज. ओके, so not aligned with the passage. Clear? So these point you must remember. Now in 2025, in 2025 this question has been asked. Okay, so you can see this. What is this? In our country, handlooms are equated with the culture that ensure continuity of tradition. Handlooms are equated with the tradition, culture. Okay, this idea, what kind of idea? This idea become part of the public policy framing and provide legitimate basis for state to support it. Okay, but notion of tradition as a single linear entity being strongly contested today. But nowadays what people are thinking, they are thinking that this is not part of our tradition. Okay, the narrative dominant in defining culture, tradition in particular way are seen to have emerged as an entity and histories of the large section. Okay, the discounted and at times forcibly stifled identity are fighting for their rightful place in the history. Okay, against this backdrop, when we promote handloom as a traditional industry, it is not surprising that large section of our population choose to ignore it. Means initially people were thinking that this is part of our tradition, and for this idea, for this mindset of the people, government used to support through policy making. Okay, but nowadays people are thinking differently. They are considering that this is not part of our tradition, and if there is policy framework for protecting, preserving handloom, so as a cultural or traditional part of their life, so most of the people will ignore it. So which of the following statement best reflect the most logical and rational message conveyed by the author of the passage? So simple सी बात है कि इस पैसेज से ऑथर क्या कहना चाहता है, जो भी कहना चाहता है वो इन्हीं चारों ऑप्शन में से कोई एक होगा. So first you have to use elimination method. So if you see, handlooms product need to be converted into mechanized, not discussed in the passage. This is beyond the beyond the scope of the passage. Okay, so this is not correct. Household unit of the handloom sector should be modernized. It's not talking about modernization, upgradation of the handloom sector. So this is also not correct. Continued research support to handloom industry ensure the preservation of some of the glorious form of our old tradition. No. Okay. So we need to free handloom industry from the limited narrative linked to preserving the cultural heritage. So we have to free. ओके ये इस नैरेटिव को हमें छोड़ना पड़ेगा कि हैंडलूम्स आर पार्ट ऑफ आवर ट्रेडिशन. दिस इज द मेन थिंग दैट ऑथर वांट टू टेल अस. सो this is aligned with the passage, so our correct option is answer is option A. So answer A will be the right answer. Okay, so shall I move on? Are you getting? So now next passage. So if you are watching this session, so first stop the video and read the passage and try to answer the question. Okay, just see, you can read, pause. Now let's see. Each state in India faces distinctive set of challenges regarding impact of warming. Okay, but also offer its own set of opportunity for reducing emission depending on its natural resources. कहने का मतलब जितने भी स्टेट है उनकी जो वार्मिंग का जो इम्पैक्ट है वो डिफरेंट है. जैसे कोस्टल एरिया है उस पे इम्पैक्ट, वार्मिंग का इम्पैक्ट कुछ डिफरेंट है. जो लैंडलॉक स्टेट्स हैं उन पे कुछ और इम्पैक्ट है. जो हिमालयन स्टेट्स हैं उन पे कुछ और इम्पैक्ट है. जो नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स हैं उस पे कुछ और इम्पैक्ट है. ओके, राजस्थान है वहाँ पे वार्मिंग का अलग इम्पैक्ट है. और वट एवर काइंड ऑफ इम्पैक्ट स्टेट्स, इंडिविजुअल स्टेट्स हैव, दे ट्राई टू ओवरकम दिस इम्पैक्ट थ्रू whatever resources are available with them. Okay, that is the thing author is talking about. For example, coastal states need to take action to protect the some source from the sea level rise. District that are drier need to be prepared for variable monsoon precipitation. Himalayan region have their own unique challenges, and selected part of peninsular India and offshore area offer great opportunity for harnessing wind power, right? Now these various aspects need to be considered for developing clear and sustainable goal for the future. These various aspects, whatever author has discussed till now, these various aspects need to be considered for developing clear and sustainable goal for the future, right? So this is the passage. Now which of the following statement best reflect the most rational, most logical, rational and pragmatic message conveyed by the author of the passage? व्यवहारिक message क्या है, right? Pragmatic. So if you see, in every question based on reading comprehension, you have to first apply simultaneously you have to apply elimination method also, apart from finding the core message that author is trying to convey, right? So if you see the just see the mitigation and adaptation strategy to address or tackle climate change is essentially the responsibility of each state. क्या emission का जो वार्मिंग का जो इशू है उसको टैकल करने की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी केवल स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को है? नॉट. ठीक है, नहीं. India is too diverse to implement any effective strategy. India is too diverse to implement any effective strategy. This is a extreme statement. This is a harsh statement. Okay, so this statement should be avoided. Okay, it is basically the responsibility of union government. Again, this is not this is the bias statement. ठीक है, to fight with the effect of warming is not only the responsibility of the central government. Okay, so आपको पुनः ये एक हाशिए पे लेके जाना चाहता है ये स्टेटमेंट. ठीक है, India need to formulate effective climate change mitigation and adaptation strategy at state and regional level. Okay, so this is very moderate. Okay, this is very moderate and comprehensive, very inclusive. Okay, this is not only the responsibility of the state government, this is not only the responsibility of central government. Okay, this is the responsibility. This problem can be tackled with the cooperation of each states as well as central government. So this is this can be a best solution for the problem related to admission. Okay, so this is the core idea, core message that the author want to convey to the reader. Okay, so your correct answer is option D. So D will be the right answer. If you see